Look, we're back with today's episode of Voices. Another beautiful Monday, as I said, the 7th day of September. We're in a month where we'll soon be celebrating our independence anniversary. I don't have an in-house guest today, so it means that we have more time to discuss on the various topics. I have here just taken off some items I observed over the weekend. Let me start with reaching out to our folks up there in the New York area in the USA. They're celebrating Labor Day celebrations today. And a very short while ago, I was sent a clip of some revelers downtown Brooklyn partying, sort of a cappella style. There's no live band, but they're all in their costume, various variety of costume. But every single person in that throng that I've just noticed are wearing the mask. So while they're observing the Labor Day celebration, we want to reach out to our nationals and friends out there. While you're celebrating your Labor Day, and you're jumping up and you're fetting, please continue with the protocols of wearing your mask. We want you to be safe to see another Labor Day in Brooklyn. I recall the days of going up there, jumping up. Monarch, no one talking about having a whole ton of fun. So for those out there of nationals celebrating up there in the New York area, please be safe. Okay? We do the same thing here when we have a carnival in whatever shape or form. I'm still having a little hope for that. In the meantime, for those who wish to call in, because it's going to be open lines today throughout the program, the numbers to call are 466-0989, 662-0989, 762-0989, and overseas lines would be 718-785-6948, 508-921-4619. From the UK, we got 0333 044 0065. That gets you in the studios for a little chit-chat with your host, the Socrates. Now, on Saturday morning, I'm making my normal rounds, doing my little shopping. I ended up down by the marketplace. And Mr. Jam Down Manners drew my attention to something I saw but didn't quite see. It was a pile of garbage dump just west of the second bridge if you're traveling westerly, just across from the market. And of course, being the person he is, very, very impassioned, very angry. And he was saying that these people dump all this garbage here. Look how close it is to the vendors, etc., etc. And I'm thinking, I've seen the solid waste people distribute thousands of garbage bins throughout the Federation. And I'm wondering, how could this thing be possible? I didn't notice any large green bins in the area, but I know for a fact that thousands of yellow top garbage bins has been distributed throughout the Federation. And these are like large plastic bags containing garbage of we're looking about maybe 30 bags there. He says it's a normal thing. He's tired of complaining of it. I'm wondering, why is that happening? Why would people bring their garbage down there? It's actually in the main road, even if it's in the sidewalk next to where there's a guy there, a coconut vendor, and people just walking by nonchalantly, etc. But it offended him, and he drew to my attention, so I thought I'd bring it up. Solid Waste, I believe, has been doing a wonderful job in terms of going out and collecting the garbage, blah, blah, blah. But why is that area allowed to be an eyesore? I thought it was like a temporary thing. He says, no, it happens all the time. And again, it goes back to my mind. Solid Waste has distributed thousands of garbage bins throughout the length and breadth of the Federation. Why is that allowed to happen? So if there's anyone who has any answer, insight, or disturbed by that particular development, you're free to call in and help us educate ourselves as to why that is happening. Right? A note to drivers. We know school has more or less reopened. We are asking for drivers from the various parts of the island to be cautious, be more careful with the driving, especially by school zones, etc. If you leave home a bit earlier, that will negate the need for speed. Sometimes we have appointments and we underestimate the traffic. We underestimate because there are some road works ongoing in certain parts of the on the main road, and then you went into that snag, you lose 2 or 3 minutes, and you try to compensate. By speeding, we're asking you to be mindful that schools are opening, and you have to look out for the students on the road. Be very careful. As I'm saying, this is not just for bus drivers. Every single person that utilize the traffic, we have to look out for our pedestrians, especially the children. On Friday night, I observed there was what was dubbed the Independence Fiesta, where I think it was the Department of Culture put on a program that paid tribute to the likes of the King Miko, the King Starshield, and the Ayatollah. But I recall seeing a news item prior to the passing of the late Dion Stevens, where the Honorable Akila Byron mentioned that he was part of that program. And I'm thinking, when I heard it, I actually heard it, I saw the broadcast the day after he had passed. I'm thinking, well, she probably didn't know. With that being said, he was actually honored, which brings me to a point. I want to commend them, the Department of Culture, all the folks who took time out to honor those stalwarts. Miko, for his stalwart contribution to the development of Calypso culture within the Federation and wider field. Walson, Starshield did the same thing. Ayatollah would have made his contribution. But I want to take it a bit further in terms of what has been happening in terms of the awareness and seemingly refocus on the Ayatollah's contribution. In New York, in the Virgin Islands, here within the Federation, there's been endless program highlighting his music, his contribution. And I'm saying that we have this habit. Seems entrenched in us. When someone passes, we give them the flowers. And I've been called from time to time asking, what are you guys doing for the Ayatollah? What's happening with, And I'm saying, but he was here. And it's really a sad testimony to see that after he would have passed, we're hearing how great he was, his contribution, and his music is being played endlessly. As a matter of fact, on Saturday evening, I was part of what was called the G8 Calypso Summit. And I must say good morning to Clement Monaco Garo, Ronnie Rascal, and especially to the, not only the host or promoter, but the person who came up with the idea to host a viral Calypso show that was very, very, very well received. Didn't have a lot of marketing up front. And this was DJ Morris Show who put it on. G8 featured 8 Calypsonians. There were 2 presenters or hosts, which would be Ronnie Rascal. It was part of the Mega Mix show. And DJ Morris Show from the New York area. The notables on the show was Singing Francine, Monarch, the Mighty Pats out of St. Kitts, residing in St. Croix, USVI. I forget his first name, but Abel, Calypsonian, out of Antigua, I think, but residing in the USVI many years back. And the big Otis Martin, who's got his roots in St. Kitts and Antigua. So let's see, 8 persons. Oh, I forget myself. And Lord Kent. And the King Astro. Those were the 8 Calypsonians featured in what was dubbed the G8 Calypso Summit. Very well received. Before the show got into full gear, tributes were paid to the late great King Arrow, Mr. Dolphin from St. Kitts, and the Ayatollah. They showed clips of their performances, past performances. And then I even made a joke. I was next, actually. I was slated to be later in the show, but we were given the courtesy of having the studios of ZZ for that particular show, and we had to clear the studio before Mr. Theo Clark got in. So I was told we had to, Manaka and I, that is, had to be featured a bit earlier. So I had to, I made a joke with Mauricio yesterday that he brought me on after 2 dead men because the first 2 on the program was the Arrow, the late Arrow, and the late Ayatollah. So I'm saying I hope I won't be next in that particular lineup. But that being said, it was a very, very great performance. And kudos paid to those fallen stalwarts. That show, I think, based on the reaction, would be a big thing happening in the future. So, still in the vein of Ayatollah, we find that the DJs, the presenters here in St. Kitts, have an affinity of playing more of the foreign content than the locals. And this is a problem that goes way back. I've spoken to several, and they say, look at the content you're playing. We're trying to reach the youth, the young people, with positive messaging via the music. And you're saying to me, well, you're playing these negative vulgarities for on the airways and telling me that is what they want. No, it's what you feed them, so you create an appetite for that particular set of music. You have some tremendous work of art here, coming from our locals, and you don't play them. As with the case of King Arrow, well, he had the song Arise, and we have to commend Conce Edwards, who was one of the earlier campaigners, who was pushing that song to the point it was embedded in our subconscious and is viewed as another national anthem. As I mentioned, Conce Edwards, another person who we seem to be neglecting along the west side. We have these icons, people who would have made a contribution, and we only remember them. And I believe that's why Conce would have wrote the song some years ago, saying that when he's dead, don't come to his funeral. I don't know who you call that song. Well, it was not really that long, because he's known for those very, very long songs, but he made a point. He made a point. So why is it now we have all these local talents with tremendous potential, and they only get... Okay, I got a caller. Call 11 Voices. Thanks for interrupting me.
Yes, good morning, good morning.
Lovely voice. Love to hear you. Good morning. Welcome to Voices.
Trying to be a good patriot, you know what I mean?
Yes, we always say
Even
that.
the patriot getting licks.
That's
Everyone
okay.
don't get licks like that.
I heard... Okay, go right ahead.
No, I did not even know this. I happened to put on my television the night, and I heard these people singing. Was it advertised?
Which one?
The one that they had with Miko and Ayatollah.
I
Memorial.
don't know how much it was advertised. I saw an item on Facebook about 2 days before, and I gave it a glance in attention. So like yourself, I happened to log on or tune in. I was just browsing, and I saw it was Craig's performance giving tribute to Ayatollah.
Oh, so you saw the end of it then?
I saw the end of it. And then I think it was yesterday morning I saw a bit more of it. So how advertised it was, I don't know.
I wondered.
I
put
really
on
don't know.
my television. I don't even, maybe to get the news or something like that. And I heard the kind of anthem stories. So I said, what's really going on here? So I had in my mind that they were playing something we play in our broadcast until it came to the end. But I must commend them.
Yes, we have to. But we're talking about Independence Fiesta, honoring the likes of Miko Star Shield. It could have been better marketed. I don't know how much it was.
I think so too.
We're talking about Independence.
Or when they're going to rebroadcast it, they should say it.
Yes, because it was very well organized, and the review has been very great. I must say to some, well, let me mention here because they are members of the public, who inquired why I was not there. I was not consulted in any way, shape, or form. You don't have to be in everything.
I know that, but I'm saying for those who were asking.
I know. Some people
Those
ask
people ask
questions.
me, how come
you
you see
last night? I don't know. I didn't know about it.
And you are on a bigger stage. Put it another way.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying for those who question.
No. You got everything. Look me.
Mm-hmm.
The Bible said, "Don't be ignorant of Satan's devices." There are some people whose job it is to pick a fight.
Yeah.
Sometimes when people ask you, they want to hear what you have to say. They're not really interested that you weren't there. They want to hear. Even Socrates say.
There was that.
You gotta get wise, eh?
There was that.
You got to get wise. Do like me. Answer like Jesus. Never answer straight answer. You never answer straight question.
Okay.
So whenever people ask you a question, think, why are they asking me that? Always think about it. No, credit should be given to Jazzy.
I was going to come to her, but you're right. Go ahead.
Yes, because on Saturday mornings, she tends to focus
And feature.
thing. Our local singers, calypsonians, band leaders.
Yes.
Very informative, very, very informative. And even when she has her shows, you know. So while others feel, well, there's all people things, she goes through, I mean, sometimes I hear some of the people for the first time, people talking about their experiences.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I haven't heard any, you know, your brother, Jason Payne.
Your big friend.
My good brother, because I adopted him.
Yes.
Yes. Give credit where credit is due. He has written some very good songs.
Well, hear this. On a given Monday, I went to work at Port Zante. And a fellow taxi driver came and offered his condolences. I said, who dead? He said, Faye was dead. I said, well, when? He said, well, Jazzy was playing his songs on Saturday.
So he concluded that once upon a time you're dead.
So people
beg
naturally assume, based on what pertains in the Federation, Jazzy was featuring Faye on that particular Saturday morning. By Monday morning.
You see the mentality?
Because it's...
Well, I suppose some people think Starship dead too.
There you go.
But you see, it is good to honor our people while they are alive.
Precisely.
Because when you listen to the lyrics, I mean a lot. As I heard somebody saying, oh, you know, this person down in the poorhouse and there was a calypsonian. I saying, Lord, you only remember them when they reached down there?
Quite so.
Now, who owned the rights to these songs, to these calypso that are sung at the competition? Now, let me continue. ZIZ has the tapes. Huh? They have the tapes.
The producer of the show is one thing. The ultimate owner of the song would be the composer, the writer of those particular songs. So he would...
Even though they're not registered with the intellectual property
the writer
organization
is the ultimate owner. Even though registered or not, you're still the ultimate writer. The producer of the show should secure a license from you to use those songs in the particular show.
But this is modern times. In those days, it wasn't so.
I understand, but you're asking who own the rights.
I'm asking the question. Because they own the thing. I was thinking they could make a compendium, put these things. I was even thinking, you remember the doctor name, this man used to sing, the tall man.
Dr. Koff.
He had produced a book with the lyrics for his songs.
Yes. I have a copy still, yes.
What's his name was again?
Dr. Koff.
Dr. Koff.
Edward Koff.
Yes, I keep saying it would be nice if we had such a similar thing. Maybe with different calypsonians, eh?
Compilation.
Thinking more before we start to copyright. Because even so. And they could be used in literature classes in our high schools. Have you ever thought about it? Because we keep saying, we want education, this and that. But
I have had discussions with Mr. Lachlan Tatum regarding, he's very passionate about what you're saying, about using our songs in the school classrooms.
Yeah, I mean, that literature, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And even as they were doing, have people perform them.
Yeah.
Because we got to get beyond just talking.
Okay.
But I'm talking about at the education department level. And ZIZ is government-owned, private but government-owned. You know, I could get somebody to transcribe them.
Okay.
It would be a good idea. So you get the lyrics, they could do the figurative language. Because whenever you use figurative language on the radio, people interpret it literally.
You mean the colloquialisms?
Yeah, you know, you compare something to something and people, that is what you mean. You know, he did not mean that.
Okay, the double entendres. You're thinking the double entendres, okay.
You know, so that I think the Calypso Association must look into it. And they themselves, you got your songs. What have you done with them? What have you done with your lyrics? Do you have them in one place?
You mean me myself?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all over the place. They're all over the place.
Well, hello. You want when there's somebody got to go sort your trunk.
No, they were registered, but one said all over the place. There's an issue with BMI and myself at the moment. But,
No, but you could look out, you see, look how the doc, what's his name again?
Croft?
Dr. Croft. The same thing Dr. Croft did. You could do, and others could do. Because it would even give the young people a chance to even sing your songs.
Very good point.
I have seen where what the fellow name now? Pinocchio was doing a thing, getting people to sing Ellie Matt's song, just 2 lines. Okay. Some of them couldn't do it. They could not do it. They know the tune, and I love saying it. After that, then they start to mumble. Yes. I think we are doing a disservice. The song is yours. Put your name on it. If you can't afford to publish a thing, put the lyrics together. Because you could go on to lyrics.com, and I used to go on whenever I want a song, a gospel song also. I go on to the internet on the lyrics, and you get the lyrics to the songs. So why we can't have access to the lyrics? So think about it. It's more than just singing.
I know, I will.
So for you and a girl and all the calypsonians out there, get your lyrics. You even have a chance right now to edit some of them. Because some of them have some grammatical errors. They could be edited.
I know. Well, you're everyday educator, so I want to thank you very much for that contribution.
God bless you, and God bless you. Good morning to everybody. Good morning to Doris, Joseph, Henry, at the hospital, and my brother Oliver at home. God bless.
Have a nice one. Thanks for your contribution. At this point in time, we'll pause for another word from our sponsors.
Quicks, cleans many dishes and many more.
Quicks cleans many dishes and many more.
Yes, Quicks cleans many dishes and many more. Just 1 spoonful of concentrated Quicks cleans your whole sink full of dishes. Quicks clean. Quicks cleans many dishes and many more. Quicks, we wash more dishes.
Like us on Facebook, www.facebook.com/ramsupermarket. Follow us on Twitter, www.twitter.com/ramsupermarket. And subscribe to us on YouTube, www.youtube.com/ramsupermarket.
Good morning once again to our listeners. We're back in the studios of Win FM and today's episode of Voices. My name is Socrates, your host of this program. We've had 1 caller so far, and we go straight to the lines. Chat for call you live on Voices.
Good morning, Your Majesty.
Good morning, sir. Your humble servant is here. How about that?
And good morning to all listeners of the program.
Welcome to Voices.
Now, when we speak of Calypso as a form of our culture, we must be mindful of what is culture. And the dictionary says that culture is the art of human intellectual development and the manifestation of such achievement. There is a situation in our country where we tend to just believe in anything we hear and anything we say. And so we have to change that kind of rationale. When we speak of the Calypso art form as part of our culture, we are rating the Calypso very highly. And therefore, the persons who present themselves as Calypsonians must present the art form with intelligence, decency, and respect. We need to do those things because we must be concerned that our youths, our young people, need good examples to imitate going forward into the future.
Solid point.
And I hope that going forward, we will bear those things I just said in mind. Thank you for listening.
I want to thank you very much for that particular contribution. I think You hit the nail on the head. We'll entertain the next call before you give commentary on your call. Call 11. Want to call? Okay, that particular point has been made time and time again, but sometimes our writers don't really get it. As you mentioned, who you call Generation Next, the youth. Now, the Department of Culture and others have been working with younger persons from the primary stage, secondary, to teach them calypso, the history of it, how to write calypso, performance, etc. And, okay, pause on that as we take this call. Call your live on Voices. Caller, you're live on Voices.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Just in relation to the topic you're on, yes, sometimes it's good to have an association to go, but one person could also make the way for everyone else.
Correct.
However, sometimes the person will sing songs for Christmas, and that's it. Nothing else. So at the end of the day, a living from it might be hard.
Difficult, yes.
And sometimes when you listen to the content of the song, they're just for that particular moment.
That is correct.
So therefore, how much can you generate from one song for a particular moment
Seasonal.
that everyone would be able to enjoy? Because remember, sometimes the content is not for everyone. They wouldn't really get the message of the song.
That is correct.
And if you realize the persons who are successful in that area, if you want to call it bigger countries, they sing songs not just for carnival, but for other times.
With more of an international appeal. That is correct.
Right. And therefore, at the end of the day, when you're singing for, let's say, carnival, you're basically doing a free thing. You're only getting a stipend, so to speak. You're not really making anything from it.
That is true.
For persons to continue singing throughout the year,
At that level.
then you will see a difference.
But here's what. We have many, many artisans here who have those caliber of songs that you refer to, but yet they do not get the airplay locally. They do not.
Now, that might be so, but if you look at how some persons do things, it's only when Christmas carnival season comes, you have a tent here and a tent there. I'm just saying, just like how the Buju Bantams and all these people could have their shows, why not have a calypso show? Soca show, whatever you want to call it, your music. You don't have to be just carnival time, but you create the avenue to make revenue.
Yes. And I can tell you, I tried that for 3 months straight, trying to promote. It was then the female calypso show. I had those shows at Mapos every Sunday for 3 months. You know, calypsos throughout the year, nobody showed up.
But they're going to tell you something.
So it's hard to maintain throughout if you don't have a band. You have to go and rent equipment. You have to get sponsors. It's very, very difficult. So it's not for lack of trying.
Mm-hmm. But, you know, don't give up. You advertise a show, and, you know, sometimes the name of the individual, and if you play a song one or twice and you get ear time, people get to familiarity with the song. And people say, okay, well, I want to hear more of that.
Yes.
It's just something for... No, it's not everything going to work for everybody.
We're on the same page. I understand what you're saying because we've done that also.
You might try something and it come out very successful. Then if you try to bring in 5 more persons, you have a problem. Because remember, it is good to say you're going to bring the calypso industry, if you want to put it that way, to light. But if the others are not interested and you are, then you have to go as an individual. Just like all these singers globally. They didn't go and say, okay, all R&B, all soul singers will come. They try to make a way for themselves. I find out that we try to depend too much on other persons to help us as opposed to we to say, you know what, this could be my livelihood, and let me use this as my livelihood. This is just something for persons who are listening, who are in this thing, to go. Just like how you have the young persons coming out with the music and try to make a headline, put it here, put it there. The Calypsonians can do the very same thing. Thank you very much and have a blessed one.
And I do appreciate your advice and your contribution. Thank you very much also. Any more callers? Okay. I was speaking about the youth and the interest of focus in getting the younger generation involved in Calypso. And as the previous caller to the last one mentioned, the content. For the folks like Quentin Pension and others who write for the junior Calypsonians, we know the type of lyrics that we have to write for them. Positive, uplifting, inspirational, nothing, not even humorous. Now, humor is good. Humor is good in calypso, and the times you get to tell them between what is smutty and what is supposed to be humorous. But we do try to give those younger people a feel of what a good calypso is supposed to be, conveying messages of social issues, etc. So we do that. And we will take this call. Call your 11 voices.
Good morning, the King.
Good morning, sir. How about thou?
I'm giving thanks. And yourself?
Counting my blessings.
Good, good. You made a point earlier when you spoke about the youth and what their choice of music might be. And I want to touch on something that I'm working on. It's more so broader in its circumference, but I'm just going to elaborate on the music per se, because the music also has been included.
Okay.
Can you give us the origin of what a calypso or calypso was made to really convey? Give us a walkthrough as to what was supposed to be the message.
The original...
I'm just going to just elaborate and listen off here.
Okay.
Okay? Also, today I choose to say that certain genre of music has been hijacked, and I like to use the word weaponization because of the lyrical content. It can do more harm than what good.
Quite so.
Yes, and so you conferring a music, a particular message in the music, it may not be of good taste to our youth because they are not at the level as to why this music has been conveyed and what the message might be and what it would be down to in terms of themselves, in terms of their growth. And so we find that certain music has been hijacked or, exploited for personal gains and financial gains and otherwise. But how can that industry, or how can we in our small space here, or can we, are there any mechanism that we can actually protect the integrity of that type of music so that it will, meet its objective? Or, you have different genre and different witty calypso and calypso, where you say like social commentary calypso and the like. How can yourself, as a lover of the music, the art form, introduce anything, any idea, so that you can somewhat, if it's possible, to protect that music from not being hijacked and not being weaponized, thus, the destruction of our youth, the way when they listen to the content, instead of conveying something good, they take it for the bad. I'll listen off here.
Okay, let me answer you this before we go to our next station break, because that's due. Trinidad is celebrated as being the home or the origin of calypso. That's false. Okay? Calypso can be traced back to West Africa, where the old historians, the griots, were like traveling troubadours. They were qualified musicians, and they chronicled through their songs all the various aspects of the society. They chronicled birth, death, weddings, political development, everything. And they traveled, and that's what they did as Calypsonians, right? That aspect of African culture survived the Middle Passage and were brought to the West Indies. It was used in its original form back then on the plantations as a language of protest, where at the time all things Africans were banned. They had to rebrand you as a person. They had to remove your identity. So your customs, your cultures of drumming, that was removed because they found that the drums were used as a means of sending, communication. They changed your language. You could not communicate in your language. You had to learn theirs, actually. You were denied an education, so you had to learn theirs by mimicking what you heard. And so after the songs, we use that form of communicating through songs. You use double entendres, where you could sing in front of your oppressors and send a code in that message to the various other plantations. It was a form of protest. That was pre-emancipation. After emancipation, you were allowed to celebrate. And we use that same song and dance because you had more license to get back into your song, your dance, your drumming, etc. Now, when we had the first, what was called the first Calypso tent, you were not encouraged to, you couldn't get a building, you couldn't have access to the media back then. So people came to a gathering to hear the message from the then New Calypsonians. And you had something constructed out of bamboo shack. It was called a Calypso tent. That was the origin of that. And those messengers were the one who covered all the development in society. They were seen as anti-establishment. As a matter of fact, the churches came up against the Calypsonian because the churches were in league with the plantation owners. And so the messengers, who were the Calypsonians, were sort of marginalized and discouraged. The church told you, don't listen to Calypso. You may recall a time in history when Calypso could not be played on Sunday morning because it was holy. It was sacrosanct. It was called Quelbe. Now, Quelbe is Spanish for Calypso, but it was banned. And so over the many years now, it still have the stigma. You ask a young person today, why you don't like Calypso? I don't know. You were taught that by your parents who went to church to be told it was devil music. And so it's been an uphill struggle. All right? And so the establishment, because as I say, Calypso was seen as anti-establishment, the politicians, being afraid of Calypso, would embrace it to help their campaigns when they want to go back in office, because Calypso could make them very unpopular or not. So they embrace the Calypsonians and use them to their own advantage from time to time. But we get back to that after a word from our sponsors.
Buster, roll it up, need the thirst quencher in my cup. If you have one, hold it up and say, Buster put the colors in my life. Refreshing and nice, and I drink that what we like. Buster, you're full of vibes, living for the color. And I'm black and white, we do what we like. We live to enjoy life. Buster, pour it up, different flavor. Load it up. If you have one, hold it up and say, Buster put the colors in my life.
So, my friend, if you're listening, we talk about trying to, I would say, retain that aspect for culture. How do we do that? Now, the King Abba of Montserrat was able to take what North American source Calypso to the international arena and make a good name for himself, business-wise. But that was on Calypso. But Calypso has a party flavor. And, of course, that's aspect of it is what sometimes infuses a crowd to jump on wave and have a good time. I tell you the message, but the original Calypsonian brought you a message. He sang about spousal abuse, about political victimization. He tried to educate or influence the policies of government. And the true Calypsonian who knows his role, he does that. I've been asked to write songs for many people over the years, and the first thing to tell me, well, me want no politics, you know. So we're talking about politics permeates every aspect of living. But you find if you hit one party, they figure, well, you're antisocial, you're anti-government or whatever. That's not the case. The Calypsonian chronicled, and as I would say, to coin a phrase, mirrored society. And we look forward to that season of Calypso to hear what was happening socially. They had the songs that brought the humor and sang about people's, domestic thing. That was the humorous part of it, but it covered every aspect of society. Sadly today, I understand nothing stays the same. We have to morph, you have to develop and move with the times. But I'm saying that we must give license, we must give appreciation and respect to the artists, whether you're singing reggae, dancehall. We have some young artists performing here like Joshua, Infamous and so on, and they've done well for themselves in terms of bringing a new blend of artistry to a local palette. And we take a call at the moment. Caller, live on Voices.
Oh, yes. Honorable, or Your Majesty,
Your humble servant.
Socrates. I called in earlier, but I do not know if my message was taken because I'm working in an area where there is a lot of noise from the traffic.
We heard you loud and clear. We heard you loud and clear. Definitely.
You heard me loud and clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Much appreciated.
Now, yes. Now, when I was growing up, there was something called Quelbe.
Yes.
Would that be what was also Calypso?
Quelbe was Spanish for calypso.
Well, that was the Spanish
In
word for
Cuba,
Calypso.
it's pronounced Quelbe. It's actually calypso.
Yeah. Well, but the content at times, parents would not allow their children to sing that.
Some.
You agree?
Yes, quite so.
Well, fast forward now to this day, we are using the word calypso, but some parents are not allowing their children to listen to it.
I made the point, you may not have heard me. We were told from the public not to listen to calypso Quelbe because it was devil music. The church was instrumental of suppressing all aspects of African culture. Calypso was one of that. Same as the drums were banned. Your dress, the way you comport yourself as African, there was just your shape of your nose, everything that identified you as African. And calypso was the vehicle of protest that we use. So the church had an interest in telling you not to listen to calypso because the content could be educational. It wasn't always vulgar. Educational.
Well, you see, when we were colonized, we inherited what I call a very noble heritage called Christianity.
Correct. Part of the brainwashing.
Well, the thing is that when you think back to those years, it is the church that built the big churches that we enjoy today, buildings, and it is the church that began to educate our children by building schools for them.
We're speaking the same language.
Right?
And they crafted the curriculum. That was part of the brainwashing.
Well, the thing is that had it not been for the church, we would not have been as wise as we are today.
No. Have they not interrupted Africans' development? They interrupted African development. And that is why they had to re-educate us. We were not monkeys in trees as they tried to portray. Go back to history. They interrupted African development and had to rebrand us and re-educate us in their colonial society.
So that you mean that those situations reflect in us today?
It's colonialism. They had to re-educate you.
When we think of what we are experiencing as a society,
yes,
we are not thinking in terms of the old years, We are thinking in terms of what is, with respect to what the church teaches to us.
400 years of brainwashing. 400 years of brainwashing has left us lots to unlearn. That is the issue. We have to unlearn that and re-educate ourselves as to who we are, our cultures. Africa, calypso, the drums is part of our culture.
But why should some of our people now have problems with the way the art form is being presented by some of our calypsonians? Don't you think that it is because that something is radically wrong with that?
You started by saying the church built the schools and the infrastructure to educate us. That's part of it.
Okay.
And some people still go to church and tell you, well, you should sing for the Lord, you shouldn't sing calypso. Eh? I have songs that has been used in the church. As a matter of fact, some years ago there was a Father Franks from the Catholic Church, and he had an issue with a song I sang called Nothing to Ring. And after conversation, I was asked to come to the church and make a presentation, play pan in the church. Too, pan was banned in the church. Today's been accepted. So it goes back to our colonial conditioning.
Well, going forward, let's hope that going forward we will have no regrets with respect to what is being presented by our young calypsonians, because they seem to be going, as some people say, out of whack.
We're working with them. We here in St. Kitts and Department of Culture, we're working to get them to sing uplifting educational songs.
And their movement on stage is ridiculous.
We have to work on that too.
Thank you.
Okay.
You good? So yeah, I got a bit impassioned because we have to go straight back to the phone lines. Caller, you're live on Voices.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. You jumping up in Brooklyn?
Partner, I thought these people understand what's going on. Labor Day is cancelled.
It's cancelled? I saw a clip of some people jumping up in costume but wearing a mask. There was no band, eh?
Labor Day is cancelled, but these people come up with this instant juve and decide to chant if the police show up to call 911.
Well, I saw them in the mask, which I made mention of. They're all celebrating the fact that they can still come out and observe the protocols. Every last one had on the mask. And ever so often you hear somebody say, cover your face, cover your face.
Correct, but that is not. But that is nothing to do with Labor Day. It's cancelled, but
Sunday we take the party to the streets, and that's what we do. Anyway, talk to me.
Yeah. Well, I just here watching you on the big screen, and as usual, I think it is my.
A lot of folks know your voice, but introduce yourself properly.
Well, I am Jeffrey Marisha out of St. Paul, St. Kitts, known a.k.a. DJ Marisha.
Mm-hmm. And what's your claim to fame?
Sacro, the belt belongs to you.
I made mention of, a bit earlier about the show that you produced on Saturday night called the G8 Calypso Summit. Speak to us about that.
Well, for the same reason that I had big plans for Labor Day this year in the park where everything was in place, and due to the COVID-19, everything had to be scrapped. And listening to the calls coming in that something has to be done for Labor Day and what I'm going to do and whatever. So at first, I was thinking about doing something with the band. But like anything else, the bands are made up of several individuals. And my experience with bands, as good as they are and our relationship, you will always have one or two guys that have their own ideas. So it becomes kind of difficult to do stuff like this at a short notice.
So you went from that to this. I'm watching the clock, so hit me.
I went from the band to the Calypsonians.
Mm-hmm.
And in communicating with Monarch, really, because he's one of the people, apart from you, that I really, when I come up with an idea, I would present it to. And the G8 came across somewhat to what's going on in the world today. Everything that I did came across with everything that's going on, not only in the U.S., but in the world in general. So the definition of G8, I think you could explain that because, you know, it's actually G7 at the moment with the absence of Russia.
Yeah, Trump won it. But go ahead.
Right. But in terms of that for the Calypsonians, you look at the Calypsonians on that list. Those Calypsonians did not get there by accident. You guys are the powerhouse of Calypso, in my view, from all the promotion I have done. So that is where the idea came from. And your performances on Saturday night speaks for itself. I don't think I have to justify that to anyone based on the reviews.
I would say for the folks who missed it, you can drop the link where they can get it because a lot of folks didn't think it was probably advertised. They didn't know. So if you can drop the link where they can go and see that particular show that you're referring to, that would go a long way.
Well, actually, the show was properly advertised because we reached over 18,000 viewers. But we're definitely going to repost it at some point today.
Mm-hmm.
But I had to do some editing to the technical part of it because, you know, we were having some issues collecting to ZIZ.
Mm-hmm.
So there was some dead spots up front. So we're going to pull out those dead spots and present the show exactly that it was. It's not going to be nothing cut out, nothing edited. It's going to be the live show. So folks will get an opportunity to see it in real time.
Okay.
Both on YouTube and Facebook and whatever platforms.
I want to congratulate you on a super production. I mentioned a bit earlier the names of the artists who performed. They were singing Francine out of Barbados. There was...
when you say Francine, you have to give Barbados Trinidad. She's...
Barbados Trinidad. She born Barbados. Okay. Lord Kent, St. Lucia, St. Kitts?
Correct.
Okay. The Mighty Pats, Connery? St. Croix. Okay, the King Astro?
Brown Hill Nevis.
And the Federation. Louis Eibel?
Louis Abel was born in the Virgin Islands, but of
Antiguan heritage.
And Monstranton descent and Antiguan heritage. And
Okay.
stuff like that.
The Big O?
The Big O out of McKnight St. Kitts by way of Antigua, the Virgin Islands, who performed live from Tampa.
Clement Ogaro?
Clement Ogaro is the new butterfly. The
New butterfly, the mighty monarch.
Boys Village, St. Kitts.
Then you featured the King Arrow and the Ayatollah. I'm trying to get to a station break before the news thing, so I don't think I'm rushing you because we can come back and talk a bit after. So you featured the King Arrow, which was very good. You featured the Ayatollah, and the host was Ronnie Rascal and yourself, who did a tremendous job, right?
Correct.
And you put me to sing after two dead people, right? But it's okay. It's okay. I was on the show, right? But here's what. We're going to pause for a station break, as is mandated. And if you can, please call me back after the midday news break so we can have more of a detailed discussion. Can you do that for me?
Yeah, we can do that.
Beautiful. Thank you very much.
Mustn't forget the bop.
I see you like bop too.
If I'm cleaning the garage, I need bop.
One bop for the home and one for the office.
Bop insecticide, preferred for its proven performance. Bop's fast-acting, long-lasting. Bop stops both flying and crawling insects. Get serious. Get Bop.
Like us on Facebook, www.facebook.com/ramsupermarket. Follow us on Twitter, www.twitter.com/ramsupermarket. And subscribe to us on YouTube, www.youtube.com/ramsupermarket.
Rather scintillating. I'd like to say good day to our good friend over there in Montserrat. I know he's listening or trying to get in sometimes, but can't. I know Jam Down has been trying to get in. Jam Down. Okay, hope this is one of those guys. Good day, your 11 voices. If feel free to call back when you get a chance. We would love to hear your contribution. So yes, call your 11 voices. Caller, good day. Welcome to Voices. Yes, can hardly hear, but come true. Hello?
Are you hearing me? Me hear loud and clear. You hear me?
I just call your name. They say speak of the devil. I hope you're not related.
No, identify me with that evil spirit there.
Yeah, just say hey for Montserrat in your call, so you have ESP or what?
No, but me call before Miss Henry.
You called before Miss Henry? Sorry, you didn't get you.
I call before Miss Henry. My phone they ring before Miss Henry.
Okay.
And every time you just no. Anyway, me get in.
Yes, I get in.
Me want to touch. Me say morning to all you listen. And me want to touch the garbage, but me not go bother. Me want to touch the. You may hit the jackies. But me not go bother. Maybe if me get in this afternoon. But me want to touch you with the 400 years of brainwash.
Yes.
Socrates, you not start history. You start, what you do? You start history from the no book.
Educate me.
Come on. Let me start from the beginning of the book. I love when people start from the middle of the book. Let me start from the beginning of the book. All right? God created Adam and Eve. You believe that?
Yes, I come to the book.
Right. Listen now. One church be where two and three are gathered. There am I in the midst of. That's the church.
That is correct.
Right? That's the.
I am hoping you get a calling after the news because this is going somewhere.
Right?
Yes.
I was on the same page so far.
You're going to go so far?
So the church starts since not the Garden of Eden. Where was Africa?
I am speaking specifically to the Atlantic slave trade. Not in the prior, because there was before that. I'm speaking specifically to the Atlantic slave trade as it relates to the culture and history of Calypso.
That's why I start my conversation and say, why are you always I must start one conversation at the middle of the book? when I miss out on so much before, okay, that doesn't make a lot of sense. To miss out you come at the middle of the book.
Okay, do a quick wrap up for me because we hitting the news.
No.
See we get in after the news break, please, because I'd like to continue this conversation. Right? And we are right on dot for the midday newscast, so we're going to take a break and come back to you after that interlude. For those who are going to have a nice lunch, do so, and be sure to tune back into Voices.
Found the sound 99.9 FM.
We now bring you the WinFM Headline News. The WinFM Headline News is brought to you by Caribbean Alliance, KDP Enterprises, The Grange, Carib Brewery, CNC Trading.
Shipping your cargo shouldn't be a hassle. It can be as easy as a single call to Amerijet International, your worldwide cargo transportation solution. We provide all the services you need to ship your goods anywhere in the world. Whether your shipment is fresh, frozen, large or small, alive or hazardous, you can count on Amerijet to deliver it safe and sound. Amerijet International, by land, sea or air. We get it there. For more information, visit us online at www.amerijet.com or call us at KDP Enterprises, telephone number 466-9595.
Without limits, happy and free. The skin you're in with no apology. The one to seize the day. Grab an LLB. Live, love, be. With LLB. Live, love, be. Live, love, be. Be who you know you can be. Grab an LLB. Live, love, be. Angostura, lemon, lime, and bitters. Live, love, be.
Protect your lifestyle with Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Till you walk with a low reputation and service for second to none. Securing you is our mission. People that you can trust, your business, property, we got you covered. Motor or personal, whatever it is, we got you covered. 130 years in this business, we got you covered. For all your insurance needs, visit or call us at 465-2631 or 469-5303. Dealey Walwyn, people you can trust.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
Did you know that the Grange Healthcare Facility is the first purpose-built non-governmental healthcare organization on St. Kitts, offering 24-hour nursing, therapeutic, and residential care for older adults? It's situated at Otley, 7 miles east of Vastair in beautifully landscaped surroundings. The Grange has a team of highly trained professionals and provides care that's rated as being comparable with UK and North American standards. The Grange offers varied accommodation to suit your individual needs, and our all-inclusive packages make the cost of care per hour the most competitive on the island. Services include convalescent care for all ages, daycare facilities for older adults, rehabilitation services, and training and continuing education for healthcare providers. For more information, call 466-5525 or 465-8020, fax 466-8221, or email thegrangehealth@gmail.com, or visit our website at www.grangehealthcarefacility.com.
More than 15,000 students will begin the Federation's new school term this year. Education and health officials have planned and are about to implement COVID-19 protocols at schools and a mix of in-class shift systems and online classes. Chief Education Officer Dr. Debbie Isaac.
For this year, schools will start at 8 o'clock. In some areas, school may even start at 7:30, but mainly 8 o'clock, where the staff and students start arriving at the school. Because of COVID-19, we have to have in place what we call the screening process. So as they enter, let me even go back a little further to from the time those students who come to school via the school buses, we start the screening right there. We have conductors on the buses, and these conductors would be positioned to sanitize the hands of the students, make sure that they have the physical distancing and their masks to enter the buses. In the duration of their journey to school, in the event a child does not feel well, we have discussed with the bus drivers that the back seats should remain empty or vacant. In the event a child does not feel well, that they will be placed there. That's like what we call the isolation area. And even in the schools, we will have that.
Aware of the need for cooperation and compliance with the efforts to ensure the education system can weather COVID-19 threats, Permanent Secretary William Vincent Hodge and Chief Education Officer Dr. Debbie Isaac appeared on WIN's Weekend Special Inside the News to continue their public education drive.
So they get to school. Within the primary section, though, the kindergartners from 5 years down, they would not be required to wear their mask, but those from grades 1 to grade 6. And parents, you may be hearing and you may say, but I thought you said kindergarten to grade 2 before. Yes, we are bringing some updated information from our interaction or discussion with the National COVID Task Force. So kindly listen, because they're more updated information. We are stating that this is really a fluid situation and information would change. As of now, for the high schooler, every child from first form to fifth form, according to what we were told from the National COVID Task Force, that they're required to wear their mask.
On the school premises, the CEO appeals for teachers, students, and parents and guardians to make the necessary adjustments. Permanent Secretary William Vincent Hodge announced that an application process is now being put in place for access to the school buses.
In terms of the arrival for secondary school students, we are putting an application process in place where parents have to apply for their children to ride the school bus. The secondary school principals would be able to provide these application forms to parents. So we would be able to determine how many children and who would ride the bus on whichever trip. So just in the case that there is an outbreak, we would know exactly the tracing route that we need to take for those students. So parents who have children traveling by school bus, you have to look for that form, get it from your schools so that the application can be made.
Now, what about parents having to be summoned to school?
In terms of those who are in school and their parents have to be called, a number of parents are expressing anxiety because they are saying that they can't get to the school within that time because their employers may not readily release them. So we are actually making an appeal to the Chamber of Industry and Commerce to have this conversation with employers. We're going to write officially to the Chamber to ask that in event that a parent is called from the school, and if there's a particular process that they would want the school to follow, whether they want to speak directly to the manager, the supervisors, we can work that out. But parents are fearful that they may not be released from their workplaces to come to the school to get their students in the case that the child is not feeling well. So we're going to do that in writing. We're going to make a special appeal.
And the issue of leaving the school at the end of the school day.
Now, we are saying that children cannot be dismissed from school as in the past, where when the bell rings to end the school day, everybody just goes out like that. That has to stop. So that is why we are saying that teachers would be expected to be at school until 4 o'clock. Even though instruction stops at 3:25, 3:30, teachers can rush off to, get out of the school in front of the children. They have to be there to guide the children, to ensure that they get sanitized as they leave, that the classes are sanitized as well. Children pack up neatly. They don't leave their masks behind or anything like that. So they have to ensure that the day is nicely wrapped up before children are allowed to leave, and classes might be leaving in turn or by turn. So maybe all the kindergarten children, all the first graders, all the second graders, and so on. So there's need for supervision of teachers to be there between 3:30 and 4 o'clock so that the dismissal is staggered. So in terms of our departure protocols, I think that's what's going to happen.
This year's Prime Minister Independence Lecture, themed Resilience, Innovation and Security for Independence 2020, will be delivered by Mr. Mark Pennyfeather, the Assistant Manager of KDP Enterprise and Air Express Incorporated. Mr. Pennyfeather, a mechanical engineer by training, promised to address issues of innovation and what it means for people to shift their focus and diversify the economy by using opportunities that exist online. A government release quotes Mr. Pennyfeather as saying that he hopes his lecture will help to inspire and encourage young people to put their best foot forward and to get more involved.
This is the Carib Update News Service. I am Wendy Chateau reporting. Andrew Holness to be sworn in for a fresh new term later Monday. This is the big story we're tracking this hour on Monday, September 7, 2020. Details of this story and more straight ahead. Now for the details. Andrew Holness will be officially sworn in for a second successive term as Jamaica's Prime Minister on Monday, following his party's electoral victory last week. Holness will take the oath of allegiance and the oath of office of Prime Minister of Jamaica, after which he will receive the instrument of appointment from Governor General Sir Patrick Allen. The ruling Jamaica Labour Party, JLP, won last Thursday's general election in a landslide, taking 48 of the 63 seats in the House of Representatives. Lawyers representing Daniel Lawrence, the Jamaica Labour Party candidate in Westmoreland Eastern, have indicated that they will be seeking a magisterial recount of the ballots cast last Thursday to determine the ultimate winner of the seat. The returning officer declared incumbent Luther Buchanan of the opposition People's National Party the winner of the seat after he pulled a strip with the name of the candidate after 2 bits of paper were placed there by the candidate's lawyers outside the presence of the returning officer. This based on rules after both candidates got the same amount of votes. But in demanding the recount, lawyers will want to look more closely at the 107 rejected ballots. Glasspool Brown, the country's director of elections, said Sunday's tiebreaker might have been the first in parliamentary elections. There is precedent, however, at local government elections. The government of Cuba has denounced what it calls a media blockade at the international level on the country's success in confronting the COVID-19 pandemic. In a message on Twitter, Cuba's Foreign Minister Bruno Rodriguez said that Cuba's scientists have shared their advances with the world, shown protocols against the pandemic, shared results of a vaccine candidate. However, this is not being reported in the media. Cuba is the only country in Latin America with a COVID-19 vaccine candidate in a clinical trial that has been approved by the World Health Organization. On Thursday, Cuban experts exposed advances in the vaccination for COVID-19 when they appeared before representatives of the Pan American Health Organization. A small outbreak of COVID-19 cases has prompted authorities to reclose schools in a central Cuban province only a week after they opened. Sigo de Avila Schools Director Barbara Rodriguez said 75 of the province's 90 schools would return to televised teaching on Monday. Students had returned to classrooms only on September 1 after a 6-month break. The province has reported 30 new infections with the new coronavirus over the past 15 days. The school year officially begins Monday in a number of countries in the Caribbean, including Grenada, Dominica, St. Kitts and Nevis, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. In some territories, they are having what is called a blended approach to learning, a mixture of in-person and online classes. This is Newsbreak from the Carib Update News Service. In more news, the lone woman who was convicted after a controversial trial for the killing of Grenada's Prime Minister Maurice Bishop has passed away in her native Jamaica. The 73-year-old Phyllis Cord was the wife of Bishop's deputy, Bernard Cord, who was also convicted of his murder. The Cords were part of 17 people charged with the killing of Bishop in 1983. Phyllis was released from prison in 2000 because of health reasons. Family sources said she was ailing for some time before succumbing on Sunday at a hospital in the Jamaica capital. Trinidad and Tobago's Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley says the economy there has shrunk by 10% because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Rowley told the Trinidad Guardian newspaper that the oil and gas sector has also been hit hard. The Trinidadian leader noted that COVID-19 came at a time when oil and gas prices were already softening and had the effect of further reducing consumption of methanol, ammonia, LNG, oil and gas. It was a perfect storm. Rowley said some oil and gas plants in Point Lisas in the south of the country have shut down. He also announced that the BP Trinidad, which accounts for about 60% of the nation's oil and gas production, will be sending home a quarter of its workers. The governor of the Cayman Islands, Martin Ruper, has approved a law making same-sex partnerships legal in the British Overseas Territory. The governor, in a statement, said this is in line with instructions from UK government ministers to use his reserve powers under Section 81 of the Constitution. The changes to the law came into effect on Friday after being gazetted. However, the civil service requires a delay of 21 days before starting to accept and process applications for registration of civil partnerships. The law, which was formally titled the Domestic Partnership Bill, was defeated in the Legislative Assembly on July 29 when lawmakers voted down the bill 9-8. But the governor, using his reserved powers to write legislation, opted to reintroduce the bill and assent to it following 21 days of public consultation. This has been another edition of Newsbreak from the Carib Update News Service, the Caribbean's newsroom. Reporting this hour, I am Wendy Chateau.
That was the WinFM Headline News, brought to you by KDP Enterprises, Caribbean Alliance, Carib Brewery, CNC Trading, The Grange.
Did you know that the Grange Healthcare Facility is the first purpose-built non-governmental healthcare organization on St. Kitts, offering 24-hour nursing, therapeutic, and residential care for older adults? It's situated at Otley, 7 miles east of Vastair in beautifully landscaped surroundings. The Grange has a team of highly trained professionals and provides care that's rated as being comparable with UK and North American standards. The Grange offers varied accommodation to suit your individual needs, and our all-inclusive packages make the cost of care per hour the most competitive on the island. Services include convalescent care for all ages, daycare facilities for older adults, rehabilitation services, and training and continuing education for healthcare providers. For more information, call 466-5525 or 465-8020, fax 466-8221, or email thegrangehealth@gmail.com, or visit our website at www.grangehealthcarefacility.com.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib. It's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
Protect your lifestyle with Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Daily low with a low reputation and service for second to none. Securing you is our mission. People that you can trust, your business, property, we got you covered. Motor or personal, whatever it is, we got you covered. 130 years in this business, we got you covered. For all your insurance needs, visit or call us at 465-2631 or 469-5303. Delia Walwyn, people you can trust.
Without limits, happy and free. The skin you're in with no apology. The one to seize the day. Grab an LLB. Live, love, be. With LLB. Live, love, be. Live, love, be. Be who you know you can be. Grab an LLB. Live, love, be. Angostura, lemon, lime, and bitters. Live, love, be.
Shipping your cargo shouldn't be a hassle. It can be as easy as a single call to Amerijet International, your worldwide cargo transportation solution. We provide all the services you need to ship your goods anywhere in the world. Whether your shipment is fresh, frozen, large or small, alive or hazardous, you can count on Amerijet to deliver it safe and sound. Amerijet International, by land, sea or air. We get it there. For more information, visit us online at www.amerijet.com or call us at KDP Enterprises, telephone number 466-9595.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM. Win FM weather.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's time now for your 1FM weather report, and it's brought to you by Breathe Easy. Do you know your indoor air quality? Did you know that mold and bacteria particles are floating in the air you breathe and can cause illnesses? Steam can purify all indoor surface areas. Steam and air purification will allow you to breathe easy. Breathe Easy is the name of a business which promotes pure indoor air quality, offering professional sanitization service for residential, commercial, industrial, and public spaces. The air quality will be tested prior and post-service. Our team will delicately scrub your air so you can breathe easy. Call today for assessments and bookings at 667-0557 or 765-4925. So give us a call and breathe easy. And here's today's weather report. Temperature highs 86 degrees Fahrenheit or 30 degrees Celsius and lows of 77 degrees Fahrenheit or 25 degrees Celsius.
The weather this afternoon, mostly cloudy with a 70% or high chance of showers and a 50% or moderate chance of thunderstorms. The weather tonight, mostly cloudy with a 70% or high chance of showers and a 50% chance of moderate thunderstorms. The winds are east-southeast, then they will shift to the east tonight at 11 to 22 kilometers or 6 to 12 knots. Some lighter spells are anticipated tonight. The seas 0.6 to 1.2 meters or 2 to 4 feet. Sunset today will be at 6:19 p.m. and the sunrise tomorrow at 5:58 a.m. That was your WinFM weather report brought to you by Breathe Easy. Do you know your indoor air quality? Did you know that mold and bacteria particles are floating in the air you breathe and can cause illnesses? Steam can purify all indoor surface areas. Steam and air purification will allow you to breathe easy. Breathe Easy is the name of a business which promotes pure indoor air quality, offering professional sanitization service for residential, commercial, industrial, and public spaces. The air quality will be tested prior and post-service. Our team will delicately scrub your air so you can breathe easy. Call today for assessments and bookings at 667-0557 or 765-4925. So give us a call and breathe easy.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9 Win FM.
It's the Hartsford's Building Center's Very Good Electrical and Plumbing Fixture Sales Event happening now until October 31st. All electrical and plumbing fittings will be discounted by 25%. This is very good. That's right, 25% off all electrical and plumbing fixtures happening now until October 31st. The Very Good Electrical and Plumbing Fixture Sales Event at Hartsford's Building Centers on St. Kitts and Nevis. Very good products, very good prices, very good discounts on all electrical and plumbing fixtures at Hartsford's Building and Nevis Centers happening now. This is very good. See store for details.
We're back on Voices and we go straight to the lines as there's a caller standing by. Caller, welcome to Voices. Good day, caller. Yes, sir. Okay, you're back in. Now let's talk.
Yeah, me back as me never finish up. And let me tell you, this week I got me last. So this month me last week, right?
You got on vacation?
Yeah, me take on one long vacation.
Okay, sir.
And me hear somebody read, me hear me Sharon read the weather. So me believe she's at the control. Am I right?
She's at the control, yes.
Good afternoon, Sharon.
Good afternoon.
And Socrates.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, let me just finish. Let me deal with one topic where you touched this morning with the disc jockey them. You said that them a play them got the good songs and them a play the vulgarity music on them.
To a large extent.
That for the morning.
Yeah.
Huh?
Well, my sentiment is that we have a lot of song with positive, uplifting messages that don't get the airplay until maybe a person died. And then they are celebrated how great they were, all the great songs, etc. But while they're living, they don't get that support as artists, as local artists.
I agree with that.
All right.
I agree with that. But that's a one-sided defense. Let me work the side of defense now.
Go right ahead.
Let me say that me got one audience, a mine audience, a gospel. It's going to be hard for playing calypso, ain't it?
Depends on your view.
Depends
on your view. Huh? Depends on how you view calypso.
No. Get me. Let me not get technical. Just get the picture.
There are songs that are used in the church. Songs named as calypsos. My songs have been played in the church, and they're called calypso. So it depends.
They may come not big. Socrates, not because this song on them, they're not playing at the church, they're playing at the assembly. So not because they're playing at the assembly, it don't really mean that it bring glory to God, you know. Alright? So
the mic is yours, go ahead.
Look up Romans,
Yeah, go ahead, I'm listening.
Yeah, so you know mean that he actually bring glory to God, not because he playing at the assembly. You get me? So but that not the point that me make still. The point that, okay, let me be around the bush. Me around wait a long time.
Yep.
Long time. I mean around ZDK and them. You just got this request that people calling. Well, now I got this WhatsApp business, so you don't even know who to type in and I say this. But before you got that, people may have to call in and request the song that they want. You remember?
Yes.
Right. You will find, Socrates, that sometimes people even call for songs that don't even reach the radio station yet. You get the point I make?
I'm following you clearly. Yes, go ahead.
Right. So the point that me make is that while you think that the disc jockeys, them, I play all this music, it could be a requested program. It could be people call off and say, look, no, I want to hear this song. You please your audience out there. Not that me agree with them, you know.
I am going with you so far. Go ahead. You have a point.
Yes, not that me agree with them, but me just tell you the things and then that this jockeys and them fears. And especially then the children that we got now. Then go there on party, then go there, they set them up on the roadside and so forth and so. That are them audience. This jockey now know that are them audience. This jockey might even be a winner from our work.
Precisely.
Work,
they create a fan base.
And you call in and you say, me do like to hear this song. Now we play them. Now, me out there not agree with them, but I want somebody request. Who you please?
I understand what you're saying, but I'm still running commentary on it.
Yeah, no, me not got no problem with commentary, but me tell you, try to ease up for the disc jockeys and them. Something not that may take up for them, right? But you have to understand them part of the view too.
As far as I'm concerned.
And let me finish off quickly with this Socrates. Right. So me back now. So Socrates no and you wanna me no for all club, me believe one vice anyway. We talk about the people and them build the church and so forth. That theory they wrong. No man got nothing for building the church and the handiwork of God. So if you say them build the place where the church meet, that are the building.
That's what he was referring to, the physical structures and the education system.
This is exactly. But the church, our mystery, and no man got no hand on that. All right? And let me done now. Okay. And say that now me see the reason Socrates may touch you now. You may touch now. Now me see the reason why you may have to pull out preacher for the sing.
Preacher.
Because remember the Bible says, you know what the Bible says, Socrates? Because you remember you gonna say 400 years of brainwash.
Yes.
Socrates, you must be can. So let me touch you now, right? That the whole world can hear.
Mm-hmm.
The Bible says, seek me first, and then every other thing shall be added. You with me?
I'm with you. Go ahead.
All right. But Socrates no call and tell us, boy, check out the ting before the ring. Me know you don't laugh, you love stupidness. Right? So, no wonder why preacher me have to come and say, hey, one recipe for hell.
Here's what I'm saying. Some people go to church and are told from the platform that you need to get married. They go to church and they told you got to get saved, you got to get married, and they force a union that's not compatible. The lines of the song says, long before you say I do, make sure you're compatible. Before you pay for it, make sure the damn thing fit. All some people heard was this sexual component. That's all they heard. But it should be socially compatible at least. So when you step out together, you have challenges. You could actually maneuver the various challenges because you're compatible. But all I heard was the pastor. Check out the thing before you put on the ring was just a metaphor. Tap, 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 tap. I want to touch DJ Chris Collins up there in the UK. And he wants to let me know, he wants to affirm that, where he going now? Every Sunday he plays at least a full hour. Okay, have a good day, my buddy. Every Sunday feature 1 hour of SKN music. It's a shame many others don't or can't program these shows like that. Chris, I always appreciate your contribution. You say it's a dying culture. Well, not quite. We're still struggling with it. We're going through a metamorphosis because genres will change, one become more popular than the other. But the fact is, within the various genres, you can still use the very positive messages from the various songs. It doesn't have to be calypso versus, let me go extreme dancehall. Even in those songs, sometimes you can find positivity. And those are the songs that we should think. Straight to the lines, call your live on voices. Call your live on voices, good day.
Hello.
Yes, sir, what though?
Sango.
Yes, Hunks.
You remember when fans sing that song, they both riding?
Humor, a classic.
You remember that song, yeah?
Yes, sir.
I mean, one thing the one is the band, as Z.
It was an exercise in Dublin Town, a classic calypso.
Hello.
Yes?
If you have somebody out in the ocean in a boat, what are they doing? The boat riding. Breaking water, the water
It
breaking.
spoke to the creativity of the artist.
But then people think it how they want to think.
All a matter of subjectivity.
And what is calypso? Calypso singing even in the church.
Mm-hmm.
Even in the church they're singing calypso. 'Cause somebody can make up a song. And we call it a gospel song. But they sing it in the church.
It's now called gospel. What? How we go?
Hello?
Gospel calypso?
But Socrates,
Gospel
that's what
calypso,
it
there you
is.
go. Yep.
Because a calypso is something that somebody created. The same thing with some of the songs in the church. Somebody create a song and sing it in the church, and we call it the gospel.
That's true. It's a matter of rhythm.
Created. Remember George's Nile?
Oh, yes. Back in the 70s, it was taboo. People it was like a new thing because it changed the rhythm. It's all about the rhythm.
So George is not singing calypso.
That's what they say. Oh, he's singing calypso.
Because look at that drums and the wood every morning.
The big drums?
Drums.
Yep.
Drum set. And the wood every morning playing music.
Correct.
And we have it in the church.
It's just the instruments. But it's the application.
Right. But somebody will tell me, oh, he playing calypso. He playing something worthless. What's the worthless song?
Well, there's some songs that really, the vulgarity is there. Some songs can be really be classified as what we call worthless. The vulgarity, they had no tact, it's just pure smut. So, some songs really were not worth. Yes, sir.
The song that I call worthless, the song when you break the dictionary. When you break the dictionary, I call it worthless.
I'm not following you.
But if you write a poem and you write a calypso, it's the same writing, the same thing you're doing, the same brain thinking.
Yeah.
But somebody look at the song you sing. Like, okay, when the song that you sing, before you put on the ring, take out the ring.
No, I don't got my dig.
People put it in a different way. How the brain be thinking.
I hear you, but in terms of value in a song, they will say it's worth nothing, it's worthless. But we take worthless to be something really vulgar. Or you're worthless woman, where it's actually you're worth less than whatever value they have you.
Right. Okay.
I'm sorry to say woman because that
Okay,
I don't want to be
Thank
sexist,
you.
but that was the phrase that would use to describe somebody. Or you're worthless, or you're worthless. You're worthless. And that the whole connotation was, anyway, we understand that. But the song that you referred to by Fancy, that's an all-time classic. And another one of my favorites is El Dorado by the Crusader. former director of culture. You remember the song? You still there? There is no El Dorado out there. Anyway, I don't want people to run off the mic when it starts shaking. But yes, that's the whole thing. So, Chris, thanks for your contribution of playing local content from up there in Sheffield in the UK. He says it's the best place in the world to live. And ever so often we'll be discussing local content in terms of the percentage of airplay. In Canada, there's a mandate that you have to play, I think it's about 55% of local content on those stations. There's the Department of Culture, and there's association that lobby on behalf of local artists to make sure they get that. We don't have that here, and you have private stations. We can't tell people what to play, but there could be a consensus. Because if you want to reach the youth and have a positive impact in terms of the messages, you could get the DJs presenters together. Hey guys, we have a problem. We need to reach Generation Next. Let's educate them, but from the platform of music. By not playing this song or that song. Oh, but they could go on and stream and get it. That's yes, but your responsibility as an adult, as a responsible person in society, should not what they can get there or here, but what you can present to them. Call your live on voices. Good, I call you live on voices.
Good afternoon.
Mr. DJ Mauricio, out of St. Paul's, the Bronx. Talk to me.
Yes, as you were saying earlier.
And your card before. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, as you were saying earlier, the G8, I put you between two dead people. I just want you to know.
You put me behind two dead persons, so I want to try
behind it?
Yeah, I'm going to make sure I don't go next.
No, but the two dead people that you went behind is two stalwarts.
That is true.
That put you there.
Mm-hmm.
It's Monarch that put you there because actually you and Monarch were supposed to be closing the show. But to avoid the conflict in time that I said,
I appreciate that too.
That adjustment. But everything went well, and as a matter of fact, I was just speaking to Monarch. He was trying to call him, but he's not sure if the call could link with both of us on the line at the same time.
You mean to call it to FM?
Correct, yeah.
All right.
So I don't know if he'll be able to get in, and he will call in after me. But basically, the feedback from the general public all across the globe is very positive, and I understand I need to do a G8 again, but you got to give me the right topic for this G8 because this show was supposed to be a once-in-a-lifetime show.
Can't. The fact that St. Kitts Nevis was so very well represented in terms of the talent, you had Astro from Nevis, Pat is from Connery, Monarch is from Boyd's. Who else we have from St. Kitts? Well, the big O is a mix between Kent. And then your humble servant. So it was a representation across the world's platform for the many persons of you. You said over 18,000 people?
Correct.
Seeing talents over the St. Kitts. So I want to thank you for that exposure. Whenever I would say maybe for independence, it may be too soon, but as soon as possible, you have to have G8 Kaiser Summit 2. I hope you've spoken to your lawyers and you've actually gone and registered that name and make it a production that makes not only the artists from St. Kitts, but take Calypso at that level out there because the contents that we brought on the show was really good. I was very much impressed. I mean, Astro did the Thousand Fathers. That was a great, great song.
Yep.
Monarch sang the Sword of His Tongue. He had the humor. So it was great.
It's amazing that you're saying that because I got a call from Francine yesterday, and she's all excited and telling me basically the same thing, and saying someone called her from Grenada saying that they're right there looking at her on Facebook performing and everything and how powerful she came across.
She was good. You created a great show.
Yeah, the ladies in general, they basically said they enjoy all of the show, but you got some great reviews as well for your clarity and diction. Every artist gets a good stuff, but this guy, Louis Idle Jr., he's one of the guys over the years. He wins 4 crowns back-to-back in the Virgin Islands and just give it up and just leave the music business. And I'm happy that I was able to convince him to come back on the scene and do this for me because songs like that cannot go just going to the grave, you know. It's a big tune for what we're dealing with right now.
The back of the bus.
In the world in general. And I really appreciate Malvern Gums from the Spectrum Band and all of the folks that went out. Even Mighty Pat went back into the studio and rearranged one of his songs to accommodate my name in the song, which was another big credit to the artist and the ability.
It's funny that when Pat call your name, you applaud it. When they call your name, you get vexed with me. I don't understand that.
But yes, Socrates, the funny thing about it is before you even hear the song, you didn't clear it to me. Now, is a lady called me and said, Mr. Socrates singing the truth.
All I sang was that DJ Morris have 2 black belt in Tong Fu. I was giving you the credit.
Well, I only eat tofu, or tofu, whatever they call it. I never heard of Tong Fu.
All right. I'll do my best to promote, and Monarch is on board with this. You had some great reviews, and I think it spoke well for your organizational skills. And I know your energy for many years. I've worked with you for 35, 40, 50 years. We went to New York. It was Contender, Monarch, Sashi, myself, trying to promote shows, and they were not always successful, but we stuck with you, stuck with us over the years. So we're going to make sure that this puppy brings home the bacon.
Definitely.
And give my regards to your lovely lady once again for me. Mary?
Yeah, well, she appreciates you guys very much. I don't know if you listen to her opening prayer, but she really appreciated the Calypsonians answering the call when I requested the performances. And guys like Lord Kent and those guys, Ginger, Miko, Chubby over the years.
Yes.
It's always they're ready to jump on the bandwagon. It has been more positive than negative for me. Everything have not been always 100%. But you know what, in this business, how it works. Just like doing a virtual show, the stream is not guaranteed. It's internet, things go down, things come up. But in regards of the production itself, I am quite satisfied. And you guys did a great job. And without you, the artist, this show could not be successful. So I want to say thanks to the Federation of St. Kitts Nevis, thanks to the government and the staff at ZIZ, because without ZIZ accommodating the link, we would not be able to present it from that end to the people. So thanks to Timothy Harris for allowing those guys to accommodate us and not putting politics and stopping us from bringing things out. Because back in the days, ZIZ banned a lot of music.
Yeah, different story, different time. We more advanced than that, yeah. So congratulations
and
once
I
again.
want to say thanks to Win FM. I do not know if Bacchus remember me, but thanks to Win FM and everybody there, Tony from back in the days, we have always been supportive of each other. So thanks and keep up the good work.
Appreciate that. And give my regards to Kent and the special shot he's wearing with the curve. You there?
Yeah, man, yeah.
All right, have a nice one. That was Marsha from calling from New York. And I want to say hi to Kaisa Joe. I know he's up there listening also. And Avril Francis on the Avril show. They also tune into NFM and they monitor what's happening here within the Federation. I'm going to pause at this moment in time for our station break, giving credit to our many sponsors. And we'll be right back with the program.
It's the Horsford's Independent Sales Drive for the months of September to October. Horsford's Automotive will be on their biggest sales drive for 2020. Come to Horsford's Automotive in the months of September and October and drive away with up to $30,000 discount on select models. Your choice of either free gas for 3 months or up to $1,000 in free groceries. 50% discount on VAT. Yup, for the months of September and October, pay just 8.5% on VAT. Free servicing for 1 year. Free bill of sale. Free registration, licensing, and tinting. 0 down payment. That's right. Absolutely no down payment. And much, much more. It's the Horsford's Independent Sales Drive. Terms and conditions apply. See store for details.
Okay, we're back on today's program Voices, and I'm told there's a caller on the line, so we go directly to the caller. Caller, you live on Voices? Good day.
Good afternoon. Excuse the radio. I just want to send a message to Mr. Mansrat.
Yes.
A gentleman said his name is Vincent. He lives in New York, and he usually ends his contribution on the radio by saying, "See you when I see you."
Mm-hmm.
He says he believes that he sailed on the boat with Mr. Montserrat, and he would like to get in contact with him. So if Mr. Montserrat, he calling yet?
He called earlier. He said how he was trying to get him before you, and you beat him to
Yes,
this.
I think he was to call back.
Yes, he called back after the lunch interlude also. So I
So
trust he's listening.
Because the man said if it is him, he would like to get in contact with him. He called the name of the boat, Western or something. But he said he worked with him or with the person who he believes is...
Is him? Yeah.
Yes, he said from the voice. So tell Mr. Montserrat if he remember him, the man from St. Kitts, he from over Sadler's kind of way.
Okay.
He lives in New York. He also see you know, the man said, "See you when I see you."
Okay, jerk his memory. That
All right, then.
All right, thanks very much. Appreciate that, Charles.
Okay.
Mr. Montserrat, if you're listening, well, I don't know your name, so I have to call him Mr. Montserrat if you're listening. Hope you ever heard Miss Henry's trying to reach you from a friend who actually worked with you on a particular boat back in the day. And his key phrase or catchphrase was, "See you when I see you." So if you know that person, and if you want to share your contacts with the radio station so you can get it in touch with you, you're free to do so. Right? I got a note sent to me a short while ago from a news item where the PM was stating that he's going to be extending the stimulus package. We'll get back to that as we entertain this call. Caller, you live on Voices? Good day, caller. You're live and direct on Voices.
Socrates.
I'm not going to speak of the devil, but yes, I will hope you would have heard me.
Sister Henry, I'm going to respond to Sister Henry from Bacchus show, really.
Okay.
Because me hear the message already.
Okay, beautiful, beautiful.
So maybe don't plan that tomorrow when Bacchus come in, me respond to that.
Beautiful, beautiful. You got to cover that.
All right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. So, Ms. Henry, he would have gotten your message, so you're cooking with guess. Yes, I would say that from a news item with the PM, Prime Minister Harris said he would be extending or a new stimulus package where those primarily in the tourism industry who's been affected will be getting $1,000, and that's supposed to be dispersed this month. So for those who were getting before, it'll be a follow-on. I don't know what the protocols will be, but you can actually go to the Social Security building and collect a form in a timely manner, and that will be addressed. I want to make note of the fact that, are the callers online? Okay, caller, you're live on Voices. Good day, caller, you're live on the program.
Hello, the King. Good afternoon.
Africa, talk to me.
Hi, how are you?
Not too bad for an old man.
Okay. It was interesting, the question I posed, and you attempted, and you did so in a nice, astute way, attempting to give some originality to the whole idea
Calypso.
of the Calypso art form and everything. You did a splendid job.
Thank you very much.
Yes. It was interesting to see that there was some diversion from our good friend in Montserrat, who actually, yes, who actually went off into a tangent as to when the name of the church was called.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Socrates, the church was one of two institutions. Not quite sure, because the church was responsible for our early, quote-unquote, education. But the church was one of two, what I say, centers of indoctrination. And it's ironic to know that in Washington, D.C., there's a special museum, a museum attributed to the Bible. And there are so many Bibles. And lo and behold, there was a specific Bible that was put together. Not the 66 books that we enjoy today.
Are you referring to what was called the Slave Bible?
Yes. Not the Apocrypha, other 8, 10 books, and the others that we enjoy today. But there was a slave Bible, which 50% of the
An
Old
edited
Testament was-
version.
yes, and 30% of the New Testament was taken out. So what? I mean, at that time, maybe most of us probably weren't privy to the reading aspect. We probably the ancestors was probably coming out of crossing over from.
It was
their indigenous
prohibited for you
languages
to learn
the
to
language
read.
of English.
It was prohibited for the enslaved to be allowed to read. If you're caught teaching an enslaved person, or you yourself caught reading, they would punish you, even hang you.
So Socrates, so why did they took out 50% of the Old Testament and 30% of the New? If
Because
we weren't able
the
to read.
people who were to preach from the pulpit, that was their text. Now we saw them as mercenaries, as some missionaries. They were actually mercenaries with the agenda. We embraced the missionaries who came throughout the region, even to Africa, to preach that particular brand of gospel. They were actually mercenaries.
Yes, and we were specifically targeted, especially the British West Indies, like the island of St. Kitts, Nevis, Montserrat, and the other islands. Antigua, I don't want to miss any, but the former British colonies, we were specifically targeted, and they were specifically sent because of the same thing you said. The rebellion, the aptitude towards embracing Christianity. Now, when it was embraced, like in Cuba and Haiti, it is said that 99% of the Haitians are Catholic, but they are 100% practice Vodun.
Vodun.
Yes, and you see Lukumi and Santeria, where we go. And because we are of such high esteem, our spirituality was so high, we can take a lower entity and transform it to suit the purpose. So in terms of the Santeria, the saints, we saw, and our ancestors saw the saints of what their ancestors were in terms of the hierarchical structure of what you might call angels today in those type of setting of the three main religious bodies like Christianity, Islam, and Judaism.
Mm-hmm.
But I did not see the need to go all the way there, all the way back to Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. To me, that is just a dogmatic philosophy, and those names, those dogmas came in with labels.
I think he was trying to speak to the philosophical church, the philosophical construct of the church as opposed to the physical building. Right? Because he's talking about the church where two or three are gathered, that constitutes the church.
You started from a certain period of history.
But I was speaking about an institution that crafted the curriculum and sent out their missionaries on their campaign. They were actually mercenaries with a particular agenda. The churches in St. Peter's here in St. Kitts were one of the more enriched in terms of the properties, because they would pay the various plantations to help with the indoctrination of the enslaved. And I use the phrase enslaved because slavery is a state of mind.
Exactly. I was elated to see right here on George Street, because I'm from Newtown. A few years ago, I went down to the grocery store, and in the Hope Chapel Church there was the Tumbali drums being beaten out by the youngsters, the youth. And I was elated. I felt very pleased. My soul felt at ease, because the demonization of such instruments and so, in which you rightly spoke of earlier, was a no-no to such institutions, such hallowed sanctimonial sanctuaries. And so, I was elated to see, yes, I say our people has come a long way in terms of, because culture, like Mr. Wells said, and, the culture, it's your environment. I'd like to say my environment. If I go up on the coast, like in the town, I would probably go to the coast and try catch a fish. And if I go up in the St. Peter's area, I will probably go to the backyard and do a little farming.
Pick a breadfruit.
Yes, so your environment is what shapes your reality. And you know, it had the kente cloth in Ghana, in which was woven by, you know, cotton. But you can see those signs and so, where you call the Celtic signs. Those things are indigenous to us before the Celtic society and the Celts adopted them, interwoven into those signs and those symbols. The Adinkra symbols and signs that we glorify God and all things godly. Yes. And so I understand that, you know, the church can be explained in a deeper sense, but at that moment, we were just relating to the history of our enslaved people, our ancestors in these parts of the world.
All right.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you once again for your contribution, my brother Africa up there. And we seem to be discussing more of the culture. I haven't had anybody who called to speak about my opening topic about the accumulation of garbage down there by the market, where Mr. Jamdon was very much incensed about the people who were doing that. I spoke about the fact that there were, is there calling in line? There were actually so many thousands of garbage given out garbage pans. Okay, we're going to take this call. Caller, you're live on Voices. Good day, caller. You're live on Voices. Yes, sir.
Yes.
You're playing tennis today.
To all the listeners there. Are the garbage Mekong calling?
Please, thank you very much.
So me touch your topic. Socrates.
Yes, sir.
You know, we got one big problem right to the Caribbean. And it come from the head here. It come from right from the top. You see, at the end of every election, if we start to get into the mood of cutting out the political party's name and say that the country, the government of Montserrat, the government of Antigua, the government of St. Kitts and Nevis, the Federation, and we get better cooperation of the country. But when we continue to say the MCAP government that are Montserrat, the UPP government in Antigua, the Labour Party government in Antigua, the Unity government in St. Kitts and Nevis, the Federation, you know, the other side no feel at it.
In the opposition?
Therefore, you're not educated enough to know well your country. And if you dirty them up, you dirty up your country. So then I therefore know I'm not my government. No, me government no power. You get the point?
I would have thought that we've passed that stage a long time ago.
No. We don't pass the stage, another stage. You can't pass the stage. And we need to get out of that. Because this is how much I have to tell you. Because there is no such thing as a unity government. If you say administration, but I want government and the government continue and the government of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. But then and therefore the politicians themselves glad for that too.
How so?
All time keep their supporters intact. When now you got tribal war. You got tribal war now. Throughout. So then and therefore every election, the side that lose never believe that the government no power. And then just wait patiently for the next 5 years. So when them broke up and them mash up and them, you see, and that's the whole problem. You get me? Me hear jam down and say, it is clean, and somebody pass, and I said, this thing won't go. What that got to do with government? That not got nothing to do with that cleanliness.
Yes.
You get the point? But the point about it, the education, So that's the whole point. And then we go now on this point.
Okay.
It's good for that all a nice theory, but at the end of the day, a heaven and hell One, I the eternal life, and the other one have to burn up. Not the lake of fire. So, getting all his education and a renew mind, no, say God, this is me, and change your life, all them good education also. You get me, all them history
and
history
doctorates
also.
and this and that and that. I hear what you're saying.
At the end, only two road there. Okay then.
I appreciate
Good.
your many contributions to the programs. So there's our friend Montserrat from Montserrat naturally. Now the thing about the garbage is there. Pardon? Okay, we'll pause for a word from our sponsors and get back to the discussion.
Good electrical and plumbing fixture sales event happening now until October 31st. All electrical and plumbing fittings will be discounted by 25%. This is very good. That's right, 25% off all electrical and plumbing fixtures happening now until October 31st. The very good electrical and plumbing fixture sales event at Horsford's Building Centers on St. Kitts and Nevis. Very good products, very good prices, very good discounts on all electrical and plumbing fixtures at Horsford's Building and Nevis Centers happening now. This is very good. See store for details.
Got the hotlines ringing today. You got to call on the line. Call 11 Voices. Call 11 Voices. Welcome to the program. We have lost a caller. You're free to call back again when you get a chance. Yeah, I was about to respond to the last call before the break that spoke about the garbage situation. Now, my position is that we would have passed the stage where we do things that would make the government in power look bad, or the administration, to use a phrase, my friend. I'm saying there are thousands of garbage disposal bins given out throughout the length and breadth of the Federation. There's no rationale for people to be dumping the garbage down in front of the market. This was pointed up to me on Saturday, and the question is why is this thing be allowed? Right where people are selling food, and this is not to give the country a bad image out there, because people have to look at what they do not there. The fact is garbage bins are available for persons. They should utilize them. Call 11 Voices.
Hello?
Yes, good day, sir. You're live on Voices. Want to make a contribution?
Yes. I attest to that. Saturday,
Yes.
you go on the market about your food,
Mm-hmm.
and the scent coming from them garbage.
How often have you seen that? How often have you seen that?
Huh?
How often had you seen that?
Well, quite a while, but Saturday was the first time I see so much garbage there and the smell of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I just felt some people on their little lunch on a Saturday store.
Okay.
And I smell in the scent and I look out and I see it and I get very angry. But what the government needs to do is get serious on the punishment, Socrates. It's being serious.
Yeah.
Well, no, we can't fight for willful people, you know. Because they say unity and, you know, we gotta live in unity. Yes, but you can't be doing the country so. And you got children around who are going to get sick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because if I show a set of garbage somewhere, even the male is in the region, right? What happened to the children in the region?
Correct.
So it's only a small place. And people willful doing this thing to politics, I can tell you.
Well, that is what Montserrat is saying. That's what he's suggesting, that is being done politically. For reason,
Yes,
you know.
because you have some people, okay, they like the government go in. You have a work. Do your work right. Don't do your work to try to make the government look small. You're making yourself look small, and you're making yourself look bad, and you're bringing on yourself, and you're still trying to make sickness in the community. Because you got children that be down there, you got children that be around there, people that clean fish down there, people that sell down there. And you got the person who I speak with, he say certain people in the community to come in and put in on the trash.
But can you think of any place in the Federation where they did not dispense these garbage bins?
No,
Just about
all
every
over.
home have one.
And even people saying who they don't want no garbage from the unity, they still take it, and it's still benefiting everybody.
Well,
because it's all about health and strength, you know.
Yes. I mean, it bothered
It's
me.
all about who in power and who out of power, you know. Let's keep ourselves healthy and clean.
I am convinced that solid waste, the folks there would have done and has been doing a great job in terms of garbage collection. They send out schedules as to when they be passing through this area, and people should be aware and prepared to get the garbage to be for collection if they don't have bins, which is hard to, you know, against the background that all these bins were actually given out to just about everybody in the federation. So how do you accumulate that amount of garbage?
And solid waste to come round
Yes.
twice a week. But what I'm saying, Sacco, I'm going to finish now. I want people calling to get serious with the punishment. It could be a vehicle paper, somebody throw out a bus. Run on the bus and deal with it. It's going on there nowhere. We're going to just talk, and then talk and talk and talk. Get serious with the punishment. Make people fear to throw on a sweetie paper.
Mm-hmm.
Because think it's small. And we're a loving country, a loving people, so I don't know why people moving so today.
And right there, on a Saturday morning, where hundreds of people go to the shop, is right there, and not only being an eyesore, but a health hazard because their food being sold there. People passing back and forth, and like, why is this here?
You have a supermarket on the Bay Road too, and people will be throwing garbage next to our old land by the supermarket, right on the Bay Road too.
So I guess the sanitation department will have to we'll look at this and see how they can address and correct that problem.
That's where I tell you, you're going to say that there, but what happened to the people them who train the garbage there?
Well, the thing is that we ask them to be policed.
A serious punishment, Socrates.
We ask them to be policed all the time.
And them, nobody going to want to them even a sweet paper. Get serious with people. That's the only matter. Get serious with them.
Yeah.
Even you got money aside, any of them chuckles who get paid to carry the thing landfill and they go between a cane field and I see them.
Yes.
And I make sure it's them and I got good evidence. Hang them the hammer on them. Make them do money out of their pocket. They don't want to do it to them because they're making money and they still throwing the garbage to the cane field and all over. They have to stop, and for that to stop, pull on the hammer on them. Hash penalty.
It's really sad that we have to be being policed on simple things that we ought to do. It's not to do with what you want or what you ought.
I'm telling you.
You know, think it's so beautiful and this and that, and at the same time, you don't go and deposit garbage in a public space like that.
You're in power.
Nah, I refuse to believe that we're still thinking that way, but it is what it is.
I'm telling you. Yeah, we people that think that way.
Mm-hmm.
Or in a street, man, I could tell you about it. You know me really like talk politics too much. You still got to speak the truth.
Yes, you see that politics permeates every aspect of our being, so it's just one of those sad things that we have to try to do.
I'm telling you. Yeah, but as I say, hash of punishment, even a sweetie paper that you don't. Get hash on them.
Okay.
Respect unless somebody is calling.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate your contribution. Yeah, Jam Down is one of the guys who go around town and speak to these issues with a passion, so I really had to take him on and say, yes, now take it to the airways on Monday and see if we get a response from anybody who can make a contribution as to how or why it's allowed to happen, or even from the solid waste people to say, okay, they're on their way. And we go back to the lines. Caller, you're live on Voices.
Hello?
Good day, caller, you're live on Voices.
Hi. Just want to say that the garbage problem, the island needs receptacles. We need garbage bins all over town. Sometimes when I have something in my hand, I have to wait to go into a store to ask somebody if they have a garbage can to dispose of what I have.
In your hand, okay.
And sometimes I would have it in my hand. I'm like, where did it go? Drop out of my hand. Where did it drop? Somewhere. Got to be cleaned up. So, and it's not because it was deliberate. Because I was walking around with it for so long, looking for a garbage bin. Yes, people have in their homes, but they're not in town.
Are we talking about the downtown commercial area?
And And elsewhere, where people would congregate, where you have a lot of people passing back and forth, so I think they can improve in that. And look at the Bayfront. It's just terrible.
Which
When
section?
I
West
go
of
to Nevis,
you say Bedford, where exactly? Which section?
right, this section close to the market on that side, just about everywhere on the Bayfront. When I go to Nevis, it's a huge difference. Huge.
Okay.
You step off that boat and you're like, what?
And there receptacles there?
I don't know. I think so.
Well, that's what we're
because
looking
there's
at,
no
having
way that can be
receptacles.
clean like that.
You're saying that when you walk up 4th Street, you have garbage, but there are no receptacles to dispose of your garbage in your hand. So are you saying that there are those places in Nevis along the waterfront compared to what we have in St. Kitts?
I don't know how they do it. Maybe it's a different mentality. Whatever it is, we have to copy it because it's a big difference. But honestly and truly, sometimes when the vision says more money needs to be sent over, I mean, there are a lot of places actually on the island of St. Kitts. But both islands need more money. That's the problem. But anyway, talking about that, people have been fanning flames, and it's very disgusting when people would get on radio. They have a voice, an opportunity to be on radio, and they abuse that power. There's nobody supposed to be on radio flaming with any...
Fanning flames of...
Yeah.
Okay, but...
inflammatory remarks, especially politics, religion, and those kind of things are kind of toned down, not stir up. It can be dangerous. And if you look at the logic, sometimes, simple logic. Here it is, as somebody saying, there was a massive plot to remove such and such. And the thing about it, a simple logic. If there were a massive plot, then it could have been carried out because the numbers are there. And so you ask, why wasn't it carried out then? Why is this massive?
It makes for
all of
debate.
that? Even if there were, what to extent?
It makes for
Massive
debate.
anything.
It makes for debate. Living in a democracy as we know it, we are very polarized politically.
Right, I know.
And pre- and
So if there was
post-election,
such
this
a massive
continues.
plot, there were numbers to have done it, and it wasn't done. So how was there a massive plot?
It's left for the listener
Stop
to...
implementing it as simple logic, and that's why education is very important, and especially education in the Caribbean. We need to revamp our education that youngsters learn to read coming up, and they understand not only read but understand. I think that we have a good populace that could reason well. I'm very proud of that, from all walks of life. But sometimes we get derailed sometimes by very simple logic. And another thing, it's an exciting time for teachers, and I wish them all the best as they go back.
Congratulations on that
I
one.
saw persons today, laminating things to put on the classroom, and I got excited about that. That teachers are decorating the class, readying themselves for the start of the school year, and there's so much promise. The teachers are excited. I'm sure the students are excited, having been home. Let's build something very special in St. Kitts and Nevis, or education, and it's a honestly great profession to be in, and I wish all those teachers all the best as the start of a new year. And there's some people, they're not teachers, but they're in government. They collect a paycheck. They collect several other things, and they have not contributed to the development of St. Kitts and Nevis, not one bit. And they do that for 10 years, and they do it for another 10 years, making 20. And they do that for 30 years and have not contributed not one thing, but they're getting all kind of benefits. It's time now that people be serious about nation building at this time of our independence and put away petty, childish, selfish things. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much, and I owe you an apology for some nights ago. We'll talk about that later on off air. But here's what. Your remarks about the folks who get on the radio make, like inflammatory allegations, etc. We live in a democracy as such that people should be allowed to express whatever is on their mind, because that's a very good way of getting a gauge of what's going on in the country. It's left for you, the listener, to extrapolate, as you, to use your phrase, the logic from what was said, and see what what holds water or not. But let people speak. As long as they don't get personal and slander other persons, let them speak about whatever conspiracy theory they have, a big plot, etc. And you make sense out of nonsense. Caller, you live on Voices.
Good day.
Good day, sir.
Yeah, I totally agree with Mr. Monserrat on the need to separate government from the parties forming government. Okay. Contrary to what you may think, we have not passed the tribalism stage. We haven't. We have not. Okay?
Okay.
And I mean, the mere fact that the current unity administration, for instance, wants to attach its name to even the most mundane of activity, that encourages this kind of foolishness about people dirtying up the place to make government look bad. I mean, who does that?
Well, I didn't buy that. That's why I said I thought we've passed the stage.
We've passed that stage.
That is what I said.
But what would cause somebody to think otherwise? Right? Because there are people who think that, that people actually go out and do this. The thing is, we've had this problem of cleanliness for years, despite all the education that solid waste does. We see it in the garbage and empty lots,
yes,
on the verges on the side of the road, the beaches. I mean, it's pervasive everywhere. And so that has nothing to do with what government is in power.
Point taken.
To me, it has to do with pride in your country.
Point taken.
With your patriotism, okay? And so anything that encourages the kind of tribalism that we see goes against the grain of patriotism and discourages unity and commonness of purpose. Okay? We definitely have to do more separation of government from the parties, right? At election time comes, that's the time to divide all you want and show the differences all you want.
So you see a branding. You see the government or the party branding just about every policy?
Yes. You don't see it?
No, it's your call, We have a debate. It's your call.
Yes, but you can weigh in every little thing, regardless of what it is, right? Unity government, as if governments in the past did nothing. It's ridiculous. I mean, you can go overboard with that kind of thing. All right? So I agree with Monserrat. As soon as he said what he said, I realized, man, that is a hell of a point to make, because it is so true. All right? So the governing party needs to do some introspection, and there's a time when, of course, you promote what you've done, okay? But in between is not the time.
Okay, let's look at the fact that they're giving them school books in the various constituencies. We hear Ambassador Kevin Williams is given out in number 6, school supplies, etc. And the Honorable Kilo Byron is given out in number 3. Ambassador Laibot is given out in... are you saying they shouldn't claim credit for that? Okay, I would have lost a caller. But the whole thing I'm speaking about is the branding. You're saying that they're branding every single item and making it a political issue. Ambassador Kevin Williams is giving them school books, supplies in Constitution number 6. Okay. Caller, you live on Voices?
Hey, King.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
Not too bad, Chukai. Talk to me.
My latest issue on the garbage system around town. If the ornament, them on the pole, what I got up on the pole were working, they must have been able to find the perpetrators then.
You mean, okay.
But they only up their style.
Well, there are 2 cameras down there by the market, but they are angled away from that spot. But I'm saying they can be traversed to cover that kind of traffic to that particular point, because I said the cameras there. but they angled away from where they would have deposited that bulk of garbage.
Yeah, I just said they were acting.
You said they're not working, they're only acting. You take a Calypsonian.
Same right up there where I'm working, I tell you from. There's one up here on the pole. My boss asked me some time ago if it's working. I tell her I don't know. I got to find out from a security personnel that be in the area.
Yeah.
When I asked him, he tell me he got to find out. Could you imagine that?
Okay.
They're not working. I guarantee they're not working.
Maybe he's saying that because he's not supposed to divulge whether they're working or not. I'm just playing devil's advocate. You know?
I'm
but
not convinced that they're working.
Your point
they
is...
They done pick up a lot of things, all the load of illegal dumping that going on here and there. What you want to tell me? Someone can pick up one?
You're making a great point.
Anyway, that's all I have to say.
You're making a great point because, yes, Chukai, in fact, there were cameras actually down there on the pole by the market across from where those garbage were deposited. But if the cameras were working, as you say, they should have been able to track whomever would have dumped that and remedy the situation in times past. So.
And not there alone. Show the whole basket.
Yeah.
The camera all over the place and they picking up nothing. People still getting even more.
Well, I am assuming that they're on. So when I'm downtown driving, I am very circumspect because I don't want to say, well, they say working and they ain't working, then you find it in front of the court. And there's
I am
evidence.
not convinced that they're working. I'm telling you, period.
What are those things? We live in a beautiful federation.
I'm so sorry.
But thanks for your contribution, Chukai. And we're coming down to the last 7 minutes of this program. Anybody wish to call and make the contribution on any of the topics that we touched on today? I was speaking shortly about the fact that there's a news item that says the Prime Minister mentioned he'll be extending the stimulus package for folks primarily in the tourism sector who's still affected. It'll be $1,000. So for those who know that something is there for them, they can go down to the Social Security office and fill out their forms for the new stimulus program. And we have a caller on the line. Caller, you're live on Voices.
Hello?
Yes, you're live on Voices.
Yeah. It sounded as if you were asking me a question. And got cut off or something like that?
I don't know if it got cut off. I was speaking to you and then there was, from this end, you weren't there at all. I was speaking about the branding of the various programs with distributing school books and supplies.
Right.
The various,
you know, even things like those. Those things are obvious publicity stunts, huh? Okay? And they have their place, again, more so around election time, okay?
Yeah.
Not so much in between. Because you'd think, if you are in public service, if you're a politician, if you're a representative, the things that you do should be evident. They should speak for themselves.
I'm going to engage you on that, but make your point.
Why? You don't agree?
Here's what. Oftentimes we hear it said, well, this minister hasn't done anything. I ain't see what he's doing, etc. Okay? Well, this particular branding or going out yourself and saying, okay, well, they've been covered by cameras and there's a news item that Minister this distributed X amount of books and school supplies today, Minister that. Is that showing that they're doing something? Would that answer the question as to, well, I don't know what you're doing, I haven't seen it?
No, but to me, if I'm a minister of government, right, I would not be trying to make hay out of a distribution of books, right? We hire people in at that level, okay, to do higher level things, like, for instance, make sure that there are opportunities for people that they don't even have to depend on you to buy the pencils and books, right? We expect them to provide economic opportunities, take care of the social responsibility of looking after the more unfortunate, yes, okay? But the main thing is to fashion policies that are going to develop the country more, that are going to create more opportunities for people, more jobs, so that they're less dependent on government.
Yes, I understand that.
Right? Not giving out books and making a hell of a thing about that.
The optics of that.
I would have been ashamed to do that.
The optics of that.
I'd give the, and it doesn't even seem to be targeted. Anybody can wash the foot and come.
Yeah,
So
because
people
it's
who
not
can
partisan.
afford, people who can afford are getting. It would have been better place if there were people who cannot afford. Because if they can't afford even a bag and books and pencils, most likely they can't afford a laptop either.
Okay.
Or to pay for the books. Target these things so that the more unfortunate get help. This is ridiculous as far as I'm concerned.
You think it's a free for all?
Many people may not agree, but I find it ridiculous. These things should be more targeted so that those who can benefit, those who really are in need, benefit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And it goes back to my point. If the things that you do should be able to speak for themselves. Nobody should be able to come back 5 years after and say, well, this wasn't done. Because if they say that, then you could always point back to and list, well, look at what I did. Present your list, right? And let people scrutinize it and say, and, jog their memories and say, yes, I did that back then, etc., etc., etc.
Okay.
But to me, we're going overboard with this kind of thing. To me, it doesn't look good and it doesn't feel right that they play Santa Claus when it's not Christmas.
Thank you very much.
That way.
Okay, the clock on the wall says we need to wrap this up right now, but we can listen off air. That can be described in some circles as good politicking. The optics, because it was said of I think it was Minister Hamilton that he was not seen, he was not visible. So this is perhaps the answer to that. I'm only playing devil's advocate. It's been a lovely program today. I want to thank all the callers, all the folks who made the contribution locally and overseas to today's program. I've enjoyed the little interactions. I want to thank Montserrat, Lady Henry, the first call of the day, DJ Mauricio, Chris Collins up there in Sheffield, all the folks, Africa, who made the contributions to make today's program a success. God's willing, I'll be back here next Monday with another episode of Voices. My name is Socrates, and I wish you a lovely, lovely rest of the week as we entertain this month of September, which marks our independence anniversary. Peace.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Everybody beware, you better prepare. Disaster can happen anytime, anywhere.